Okay guys, welcome again. In this video we are going to talk about the judicial review and its relevance to the constitutional law. Judicial review. The US Constitution does not explicitly grant the Supreme Court the power of judicial review, the authority to declare legislative or executive actions unconstitutional. However, the Supreme Court established this power in the landmark 1803 case, Marbury versus Madison. In that case, Chief Justice John Marshall ruled that while Marbury was entitled to his judicial commission, the court lacked jurisdiction under the Judiciary Act of 1789, which had unconstitutionally expanded the court's original jurisdiction. Although Marbury himself lost the case, the ruling firmly established judicial review as a key function of the judiciary, empowering the Supreme Court to invalidate laws and executive actions that conflict with the Constitution. Marshall famously declared, "It is emphatically the province and duty of the judicial department to say what the law is." The court later extended this power to state court decisions in Martin versus Hunter's Lacey 1816 and Cohens versus Virginia 1821, ensuring federal law is applied uniformly across states. Facts of Marbury versus Madison. In the final days of his presidency, John Adams, a Federalist, passed the Judiciary Act of 1801, which expanded the federal judiciary. Just before leaving office, Adams appointed several judges known as the Midnight Judges, including William Marbury as Justice of the Peace for the District of Columbia. Although Adams signed Marbury's commission and it was sealed, it was not delivered before Thomas Jefferson took office. Once in power, Jefferson, a Democratic Republican, instructed his Secretary of State, James Madison, not to deliver the remaining commissions. Marbury wanted his judicial position, sued Madison in the Supreme Court under the Judiciary Act of 1789, asking the court to issue a writ of mandamus, which means a court order forcing Madison to deliver the commission. Opinion of the court. The court addressed three key questions. 1. Marbury had a right to his commission. Once the commission was signed and sealed, it became legally valid. Even if it hadn't been delivered, Marbury had a legal right to it. Second, the law provides a remedy when a legal right is violated. In this case, a writ of mandamus or a court order requiring a government official to do their duty would be an appropriate remedy. 3. Could the Supreme Court issue that remedy? No. Here is the critical part. The section of the Judiciary Act of 1789 that gives the Supreme Court the power to issue a writ of mandamus in this type of case expanded the court's original jurisdiction beyond what the Constitution allows. That expansion was unconstitutional. Dissent. There was no dissent issued in Marbury versus Madison. The decision to establish judicial review was anonymous. Key holding. The Supreme Court struck down part of the Judiciary Act of 1789 as unconstitutional. This was the first time the court declared an act of Congress void for violating the Constitution. Impact. Marshall used this case to assert the principle of judicial review, that it is the duty of the judiciary to determine what the law is, and to strike down laws that conflict with the Constitution. This established the foundation of the court's power to review and validate laws and government actions.